Okay, first and foremost, I want to begin this lesson by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kadash. Again, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kadash. Yeah, those are the true names of the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son, and the Holy Spirit in the ancient Hebrew tongue. I want to give double honors to our apostles, elders, and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who are our rulers, our leaders, and our teachers of the entire nation of Israel. Shalom to the fellow brethren laboring in this truth and sincerity, the house of David, the prophets that follow in the labor, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you men, women, and children who Yahweh Bahashim Shai is waking up this truth as well. Let's get right in the scripture. Salakia, this is Job chapter 4 and verse 7. We'll start at verse 7. We're going to get it in the NLT. It says, stop and think. Do the innocent die? When have the upright been destroyed? So it says, stop and think. Do the innocent die? All right. So when you see someone die, that's judgment from the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shai. All right. That's judgment. Let's get this right quick. This is Ecclesiastes verse 3, Salakia. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. So what's under the sun? The planet Earth. So you come here to receive your judgment, man. Okay? Spirits go back when they pass, they go to the spirit world and they be reincarnated here to receive the judgment that they did in their past life. See, now the truth of the scriptures is being preached, man. The scriptures, the Bible in its veracity, in its purest form, in its the way it's truly meant to be broken down. Okay, the books are unsealed. All right, no more of the Christianity BS where you die and go to heaven or hell, but somehow everybody go to heaven. You see, no. You come back in a body to receive judgment. As the Elder Aram points out, that's one of the reasons you have nerves and you can feel things. You see, judgment takes place here on planet Earth. It says, and moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. All right, so judgment comes on the planet Earth. Let's go back. Job chapter 4 and verse 7 again. Stop and think. Do the innocent die? When have the upright been destroyed? My experience shows that those who plant trouble and cultivate evil will harvest the same. So what's that? Let's get this. This is Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So if you sow good things, if you sow seeds toward Yahweh by Shema Shai, you shall reap a reward. You shall reap his protection. Okay? Even if some pass in the truth, guess what? The Lord still shows mercy in that. Okay? And the Lord still, you still going to receive, you're going to be first on that chariot. All right, if you pass in this truth, but the Lord still shows mercy in the way that he judges well. Take note of that. All right. So some people, especially outside of this, the ones outside of this truth, going to receive horrific deaths. Okay. The Lord is going to show mercy toward his men, even if some be beheaded. You see, it's still a merciful death and it's honorable because it's within the truth. Okay, but it says, be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So if you sow wickedness into this earth, you're going to reap that. Okay, let's get this verse 8. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. All right, but he that soweth to the spirit shall of the spirit reap life everlasting. So if you sow into the flesh, you sow into everything you want to do, you want to, the pleasures of this world, the pride of life, all right, you're going to receive that what comes with it. And we know that this place is full of danger. All right. But it says, but he that soweth to the spirit, sowing into Yahweh Shai, man. Sowing into the good works, preaching this gospel, helping the brethren. Okay. Walking in the ways thereof, that path of life. All right. In your day-to-day life, denying the flesh to the best of your ability. Okay. Thinking spiritually minded, acting spiritually. Okay. It says, you shall of the, but he that soweth to the spirit shall of the spirit reap everlasting life. And there's a reward to be gained with that. And that's life everlasting. So let's get back to that Job. Back to Job chapter 4. And we're going to read it in the KJV this time. Starting at verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. So the Lord judging people for what they've done in past lives and for what they've done in this life. That's why the call is repent. Okay? And fear the Lord, because the Lord is greatly to be feared. Let me get this. This is Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 10. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, is the beginning of wisdom. And the knowledge of the holy is understanding. So the fear of the Lord, that's the beginning of wisdom. Now you understand that he controls everything. Everything is at his disposal. Even a dump truck, as you will see in this article we're going to bring out. Everything is at the Lord's disposal, man. He could use anything to delete you. And that right there will cause you to fear him. Now that's the beginning of understanding. That's the beginning of wisdom. Now you can seek out what is pleasing to him, that he may keep you. And it says, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. See? Understanding the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right? Understanding that he controls everything. You see? Proverbs 1 and 7. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. So fearing the Lord, that's the beginning of knowledge. But a fool will despise this. All right? And continue on and be punished. All right? When it said, prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, the simple pass on and are punished. Let's get this, because everything is at his disposal. This is what calls you to fear the Lord. One of the many things that cause you to fear him. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 39, we'll start at verse 21. A man need not to say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For he hath made all things for his uses. So the Lord made all things for his use. It's all created for his purposes. You see? Let me bring out this quick article, and we'll get back to the scriptures. All right, fair use for educational purposes only. All right, it says 4 dead after dump truck driver strikes crew of utility workers. All right, and it's from the police. It's ABC News. It says dump truck driver see the Lord use everything. Let's go back to that Sirach 39 and 21. A man need not to say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For he hath made all things for his uses. See? A dump truck, man? You mean to tell me God made a dump truck kill somebody? Man, it said he created all things for his uses. And we already established through the Spirit, through scriptures, that the place I've seen under the sun, the place of judgment. So judgment take place here. When you see something happen, it ain't like the Lord didn't know about it. Again, it says, a man need not to say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For he hath made all things for his uses. Even a dump truck, nigga. All right. Let's go back to that article. I hope you understand it. It says, dump truck driver hit utility workers in Eden, North Carolina. Eden, damn. In Eden, North Carolina, killing 4 and injuring 3. It says driver charged with stop sign violation and misdemeanor death by motor vehicle. Victims were contractors for Duke Energy, mostly from Carolina Power and Signalization. Signalization. It says city officials and Duke Energy expressed condolences and were cooperating with the investigation. Incident remains under investigation by North Carolina State Highway Patrol. And we telling you through the spirit of power and power, Yahweh Shema Shah, this got the fingerprints of the Lord all over it. All right, let's make sense of it. Let's jump down Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 and verse 28. There'll be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Who made them? Lord Yahweh Shema Shah. So the Lord has spirits created for vengeance. He put the spirit on people to do certain things. That man made the driver may be wondering what happened. I tried to, and next thing, see, because it's the Lord's doing. All right. He didn't know he was going to do that when he got up that morning to go to work. Proverbs 20:24 says, a man's going on the Lord. Let's get it. Again, this should cause you to fear Yahweh Shema Shah. This is Proverbs 20:24. I hope and pray that this is edifying to the elect as well as comforting. This Proverbs 20:24. Man's goings are the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah. How can a man then understand his own way? All right, let's get that in the NLT. The Lord directs our steps. So why try to understand everything along the way? It's the Lord that controlled that made that man kill those workers. You see? Back to Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 39 and verse 28 again. There'll be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time, that's a sore stroke right there. It said 4 dead and 3 injured. That's a sore stroke. It says in the time of destruction, that was their time of destruction. They pour out their force, and they poured out their force and deleted those 4 people and injured 3. It says, and appeased the wrath of him that made them. So that appeases the wrath of Yahweh Shema Shah. Remember now that he's a man of war. Okay? It says, fire and hell and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. So all these things were created for vengeance, the Lord's vengeance. All right, how he lay on punishment, sore strokes. All right, to appease his wrath. It says, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. See, all these different things were created for the Lord's vengeance. All right, again, he's a man of war. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth. Ready upon where? Going back to that Ecclesiastes, I've seen under the sun the place of judgment. That's judgment for those people, man. That should cause you to fear the Lord. It says they shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So when their time come, those spirits created for vengeance, they're going to do what the Lord sent them out to do. Whether it's putting it on a man to mow down, okay, cut down 4 utilities, 7 utility workers actually, because 4 got deleted and 3 were injured. Okay, and that 7 we know goes into completion. That was a complete, beautiful work, all right, by Yahweh Shema Shah. All right. That's why you got to be in the spirit of the truth. That's why you got to come under the vibration of Yahweh Shah, man. All right, because Jeebus, all you thinking is sweet peace and love. But Yahweh Shah, all right, is a man of war. Yahweh Shah, they're men of war, man. All right, they ain't to be trifled with. They ain't to be effed with. You're to fear the Lord. You're to fear Yahweh Shah, the powers of heaven and earth. Once you understand how Yahweh Shah works, that calls you to fear him. You don't fear Jeebus because you think he all love. All right? You to fear Yahweh Shai because you know that he kills and he destroys. Two precepts I'm thinking of now. Salaki, I hope it come back to me through the spirit. Oh, yeah. Let me get this first while it's on my mind. One of my favorite. And then we're going to get this. Just thinking. Bear with me. Take some more of that lines, man. Bear with me. Let me look at it again. No, we mentioned he's a man of war. Oh. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39. See now that even I am he. Oh, and call Allah Yahweh Shemel Shah, the water Yahweh Shemel Shah for bringing the thought back. It says, see now that I am he, and there is no power with me. That word God goes into power. I kill and I make alive. No, that dump truck, that was a dump truck, man. The Lord ain't got that. Look, it says, I kill. Were those people not kill? I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So it's the Lord that bring these things. Okay, let me get this. We'll go back to that Jeremiah. This is Amos chapter 3 and verse 6. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? And that trumpet is being blown now. We telling you it's the Lord doing these things, man, and you ain't gonna fear. We telling you the things that he's about to bring upon this earth. As you see that judgment like that, these weird, so-called weird, accidents and freak accidents and people being judged in horrific ways, and it's turning up. You're seeing more and more horrific things happen. People cutting people's heads off. A black, so-called black woman, a Jake woman, killed her mama and cut up and put her on the grill. It's going to get worse. Alluding to Daniel chapter 12 and 1, Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. It's only going to get worse, man. It's going to be a time like none other. So we telling you this and you ain't going to fear? It says, shall there be evil, or as we see in the NLT, does disaster come to a city unless the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai has planned it? Again, let me finish it up in the KJV and cite it in the spirit. Shall it and call Allah Yahweh Shemel Shai, the water Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachakadash. And Barakatah is blessing. We blessing the name of the Lord, man. And thanking him for the spirit. To understand this truth and to preach this glorious gospel, there's no great occupation on planet Earth, man. And I must say, to believe this truth, we're in a very privileged position. So hold fast, man. Because we understand, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, what's going on. And then it's the Lord doing these things. And as you see, we're going to get that Jeremiah. You're going to see that it's a privileged position to be in. All right? Because most people don't understand it. The masses of the people, and that word mass goes into death. The masses of the people don't understand. They don't understand judgment. They don't understand that it's the Lord doing these things. That's why they don't fear. Fear of the Lord is a healthy thing, man. It causes you to seek out what to do to please him. All right. And you do your best to walk in the ways thereof. And when you feel you falling short, guess what you're going to do? You're going to beg him. Because that word pray going to beg. You're going to beg him to keep you on the path, man. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? You ain't going to fear, nigga. It says, shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord Yahweh Shema shall have not done it. So and that word evil goes into bad times. So when bad times come, it's the Lord that did it, man. You see, he's being facetious with that. And the Lord had not done it. It's the Lord. He said, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. I do all these things, said the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah. You see? Now let me get it in the NLT. Amos 3 and 6 NLT. When the ram's horn blow a warning, and it's this word going out, shouldn't the people be alarmed? Does disaster come to a city unless the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah has planned it? So ain't nothing gonna happen unless the Lord sanction it. Even somebody being deleted by a dump truck, man. You see? Let's get this. This is Matthew chapter 10 and verse 29. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a farthing? And one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father. See? So even a little sparrow, if it hit the ground, it's the Lord who sanctioned that, man. That's what you got to understand. That's what you got to understand. I might well get this. You know what? I'm going to start at verse 28. Matthew 10 and 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. Don't fear man, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. So fear the Lord. He's the one who can destroy you, man. Verse 29, are not 2 sparrows sold for a farthing? And one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father. So ain't nothing gonna happen without the Lord knowing, man. All right, it says, but the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So the Lord even numbered the hairs on your head, and you think he don't know when a dump truck kills somebody? He sanctioned it. All right, let's get this. This is Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse, we're going to get right to the point, verse 24. It says, but let him that glorieth glory in this. See, we're in a very privileged position to know the Lord's judgment, to know his characteristics. Because a Christian would think he's all love. As the big brother Tazari want to bring out, he's all love. He's just love. The Lord loves and he hates. He wounds and he heals. Jeremiah 9 and 24. But let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, said the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. See, so it's the Lord that bring these things, man. All right, when you see judgment, that's by the hand of Yahweh by Shema Shai. And we know his right hand, all right, is Lord Yahweh Shai, and we know his left hand, okay, he brings evil with, man. All right, vengeance. So yeah, man, fear the Lord, man. Fear the Lord, he's greatly to be feared. All right? This is Proverbs, this is Psalms 34 and 9. Oh, fear the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, ye his saints. That goes into the Israelites, but the only ones who are going to be fearing him on this side is the hopefully elect, the Israel of the Most High. It says, oh, fear the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, ye his saints, for there is no want to them that fear him. So fear the Lord, man. All right? Be under the fear of the Lord. Let me see.
According to Bible,
this is Proverbs 23 and 17. Let not thine heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, all the day long. Because that will protect you, man. That will keep you safe. Okay? Let's get this. If you fear the Lord, you're going to be considering what you do. You're going to watch your step. You're going to watch your mouth. You're going to watch how you behave around people. All right? Especially in this truth. And you're going to watch how you behave around those outside of the truth. It said, walk with wisdom toward those that be without. So those who are not in this truth, you're going to be very careful around them because you understand there are spirits out here. These people have demons on them. You see, the fear of the Lord is a healthy thing, man. Damn, what was that I was going to get? Damn. Shit went on, got it. Let me see. God. So lock you bear with me, huh? I was thinking of a precept. It says, let not thine heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Shemal Shah, all the day long. Oh yeah, call Yahweh Shemal Shah, the water Yahweh Shemal Shah. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 4 in the ERV. A wise person thinks about death, but a fool thinks only about having a good time. I want to get that in another version. Yeah. This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 4 in the NLT. It says a wise person thinks a lot about death. You considering your ways. You understand that, it's like chess. You thinking ahead. You understand that this could cause that, right? So you make the right moves according to the fear of the Lord. Knowing that we walk in the embattlements of the city, right? You're in danger of your overthrow, meaning this place is fraught with danger, man. Death is all around, so you have to consider your step, consider your move. It says a wise person thinks a lot about death, while a fool thinks only about having a good time. A fool only think about having a good time. A wise man is considering his step, being in the fear of the Lord all the day long. You see? But, that's pretty much it. We can keep going. Because I'm thinking of getting that, let me go and get it. Yep. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 9 and 13. It says, keep thee far from the man that hath power to kill, so shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. See? And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life. An evil man going into Esau, and even Jake out here. You got to watch your step. It says, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. So there's danger all around. You walking a tightrope, man, here in this place. You got to be aware of that. You got to watch your step. You see? Bear with me. Verse 16, Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 9 and 16. And let just men eat and drink with thee, and let thy glorying be in the fear of the Lord, Yahweh B'Hashem Shai. And are not we doing that now? We're glorying in the fear of the Lord. It said, and let just men eat and drink with thee. That's in those of the household of faith, man. That's who you want to be congregating with. You got to watch it around 2/3, knowing that you got to deal amongst the people, but you don't want to be around them too long. Get in and get out. Get in the matrix and get on out of there. All right, you don't want to be around these people for too long, man. Again, demons on these people, even family members, you have to watch it. A simple, word out of place can turn into an argument. So you have to be careful. Be around just men, those who are in the faith, as much as you possibly can. It says, and let thy glorying be in the fear of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Shai. Going back to that Jeremiah 9 and 24. We glory in that. We know and understand him. And we glory in his fear all the day long because it's a healthy thing. All right? You can tell you're under protection when you're walking in the fear of the Lord, man. So I hope and pray that this has been edifying to the elect as well as comforting. With that, I say shalom. Kwam Yasharala. Rise Israel. Shalom.